What's going on, everyone? Investor here. It's time for my weekly portfolio update. So if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up, and then hit that bell icon so that you don't miss any new videos. So this past week, I was able to deposit about $375 into the account. I didn't work as much overtime this past week as I have in prior weeks, so the deposit wasn't as big or as what I've been used to doing every couple weeks. But hey, what have I always said? Work with what you have, right? So 375, I'll work with that. So similar to my last video, kind of when I explained like what I'm doing with the deposits a little bit, is that I plan on using about half of the deposit this week and then half next week, so that way I have a little bit to play with each week as the market tends to fluctuate. So I planned a dollar cost average, and then I'm looking at adding to a few of the positions here that have ex-dividend dates coming up, especially ones that are the quarterly payers. So in the next few weeks. So you can see my account is sitting at just over $20,900 now. $20,981.42. So after the market closed on Friday, I was just missing the cusp of hitting 21,000. So hopefully next week I'll be able to get that. So if you take out that deposit, the $375 deposit, that means I was up about $249 from last week. So I received 3 dividend payments this past week, including Colgate-Palmolive, O, and Procter & Gamble. So I'll cover more of those here when we get to the spreadsheet. But this upcoming week, kind of the same routine. I'm going to dollar cost average. I'm going to kind of work on the ones that are still kind of struggling, even when the market is seemingly taking off. Hitting that 40,000 mark for the first time ever, it was a good week. So I'm scheduled to receive 1 dividend payment from Energy Transfer, or ticker symbols ET. And as I mentioned last week, I did have the robo account over here opened up. So I'm able to put about $25 every 2 weeks, or so about $50 a month I'll be putting into that just to see how that goes. I'm not necessarily tracking this on the spreadsheet yet. This is kind of just an experiment, especially with the Fidelity Go. It just puts a lot of things into the Fidelity Index funds, looking like what it's doing. So every 2 weeks when I get paid, I'll be putting about $25 into that. So not a lot, but kind of just another experiment to see if there's a way of adding a couple more dollars into the account there. So let's jump over to the spreadsheet. I'll show you what I've been up to, including 1 new position added. All right, guys, taking a look at the spreadsheet. I think the first thing you're going to notice is the new position, AAPL, so Apple. I finally pulled the trigger on this after having watched it for quite some time. Just don't know why I didn't bother to pull the trigger then. Might have gotten at a little bit of a high point, but nonetheless, if this is one that I'm going to keep in my portfolio, which I believe it is going to be, forever, more or less, I'm not exactly worried about the entry point because I'll just dollar cost average and just keep adding to it as time goes on. But I do appreciate the comments. I do appreciate those that really kind of help me to see, the company a little bit better than the way I was looking at it. So I did spend the week really researching and decided to go ahead and pull the trigger. So, but I think one of the defining factor is if you watched last week's video where, I finally decided to cut the ties with reinvesting the dividends on Tesla, QQQY, and JEPY, and have been trying to figure out a good way to really reuse those dividends and put them into holdings that I want. And boom, here comes AAPL back onto my radar. So I thought that would be a perfect way to spend some of those dividends, use those to help pay for Apple. Why not, right? So that's one reason that helped me finally go ahead and pull the trigger. And entry points are what they are. So, maybe a little bit high, but, nonetheless, I'm going to keep it forever. So we'll just keep working at it as we go. So 0.131 shares, like I said, was only about $25, not much, something to start with, but it is a start. So that way I can get that position starting to go up. So if we go down the column, you'll notice the rest here. SCHD, I added about a quarter of a share. Like I said in the past couple of videos, I want to be able to keep putting a little bit more into SCHD, and keep that rolling and see if I can't, get as many shares as I possibly can on that one. I do believe this one is poised for some good things. So, Realty, the 0.27, this is from the drip. So I didn't put any extra into that one yet this week. Altria Group, this was being the goal for the week. I do believe the ex-dividend date is coming up in a couple of weeks. I think it's the middle of next month, so a couple weeks. So added just under half a share. Pepsi, say they was about $20, just dollar cost, putting some into that, especially because it's the goal. 0.004 for Procter & Gamble, not much, but that was just from the drip. Johnson & Johnson, This was just a cost basis play. Wanted to add a little bit more, help out with the cost that I've got there. Colgate-Palmolive being a goal for the year, threw a quarter share there. Starbucks, 0.323. This was again just a cost basis play, just trying to bring that down a little bit. And then of course the 0.131 shares of Apple. So like I said, I think I got into that at about 190, and it's currently 189.87. So not bad. I'm only down a few cents on that one. So but we'll continue to add to it. If you see the 365 history, I mean, this one's been up and down, but currently up. So either way, it's here to stay. I'll keep adding to it as we go. So jumping over to the positions, a couple reds still that I'm working on, but the reds aren't as, I like to say, as red as they've been, right? They've been recouping a little bit. Tesla's still kind of got some work to go. I'm still waiting to I guess just decide what I'm going to do with this one. I know I want to get rid of it as well as these three there, just kind of condense the portfolio a little bit. As far as I'm concerned, the experiment with these three that I really tried, didn't really work out as planned or as much as I wanted it to. Even putting back in the overage that I've got for these two here, I'm still down quite a bit. So just keep being patient on that one. Maybe it'll rebound, help bring it back up a little bit. See, Starbucks is working its way back up. This one was about double down where it's been. Then, of course, Apple, I'm down 2 cents. So Kraft Heinz, I'm not too worried there. So everything else seems to be looking pretty good. Count is up $1,344 or 6.7%. You see the chart there. So Tesla and Starbucks really still kind of the two dogs of the portfolio. And then, of course, Apple being added here. 2 cents isn't going to show there on the chart. So moving across to the calendar, you see I got 3 dividend payments this past week. And they helped bring me up to $112.45 so far on the month. So first dividend payment I received, well, actually I got all 3 of them were the same day. So that works. On Wednesday, I believe, was the day. So first one up would have been O Realty, so $15.02. You can see the nice cadence upwards, 11, 12, 13, 13 up to 15. So as I keep adding to the position, I'll keep growing. And that's exactly what I want to see. Those numbers just kind of, gradually getting bigger. And then I received Colgate-Palmolive, so $3.37 there. First dividend I received from the company, so you can see in total I've only ever received $3.37. So with O, if I didn't mention there, $65.81 received so far for the year. And then Procter & Gamble, I received $3.18. That's the second dividend payment I received for them, so a total of $5 so far I've received from them. But my position with them is still relatively small. So 22 holdings now, counting Apple. So $113.08 is my average monthly dividends here so far just for this year. Like again, this chart here is tracking just this year, nothing outside of it, especially with last year. We'll cover those figures in a minute, but this chart is just what I'm averaging for this year. So that works itself out to $3.70 a day, still 2 cents an hour there. So, and you can see 132.26 is about where I'm projected to be come the end of the month. So you can see I still have the 4 dividend payments left to be received for the month. So moving across, you see $112.45. So it brings the grand total up to $565.39 so far this year. Doing relatively well. You can see I'm already over $200 from what I received all of last year. Charts are up to date. You can see Apple has actually been added to the taxable account. Charts are up to date. In industry there, you can see the technology slice. It's the only one that I've got. For whatever reason, I just didn't have anything in the technology sector. So look at the goals here. I still got about 21 shares left of Altria Group. We'll call it 32 shares left of Colgate-Palmolive. And we'll say about 13 shares left of Pepsi to hit my goal for the year. So still got my work cut out for me there, especially when I'm looking at adding new positions. But I think I'm making steady progress, so doing pretty good there. And of course, the account value will get updated come the end of May. See, now that I'm obviously right around $21,000. So moving across, so $238.79 for the quarter. And so I went ahead and I put this figure in just so that it'll do the math for me. So right now I'm sitting at a negative 26.89% growth over last quarter, but obviously I still got work left this quarter to do, and lots of dividends still scheduled to come in, so that number's going to get better. So I just figured I'd put that in just so I can see it moving as we go. So you can see the chart there. So each quarter this year, the blue should outweigh the orange by far. So 355 all last year, up to 560, 539 so far this year. Doing great. I'm still on track to hopefully hit that $1,000 mark for this year. It would be fantastic because that'd be just about 3x the dividends that I received all of last year. So grand total, this year plus last. So you can see total dividends received this year plus last year. So in total that I've been tracking and been doing the work there is $920.42, which averages out to $61.36 monthly. So not bad, not bad for still an accountant in its infancy stage here. So moving across the 2024 projected income. See, Apple's been added there, but obviously I've with $25 invested into it thus far, so not really going to be a projection there, but still working on trying to get each one of these up to about that $100 mark received for the year, which would be great. You see the trend line moving up. This is exactly where I want to see. So right now we're sitting right here, but that peak should be right, about here. So once the year ends or once the month ends. So trend line is trending upwards, exactly where it should be. So hopefully a new higher high once this month ends. So then of course the account value, once we finish May here, we'll be able to add the new figure, and it will be somewhere right up in this range where I'm sitting at about the $21,000 mark. So what do you guys think? Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think of this this week. Like I said, I didn't add a whole lot of stuff. I didn't have the biggest deposit to add, but I still added a little bit here and there, plus the new position. I'm excited about getting that one going. A couple dividends received, so stay tuned for next week. Got more dividends coming in, plus the other half of that deposit I'm gonna work on. Hopefully the market will continue to do well here. I can get it up and over that 21,000 mark. So give me a thumbs up, guys, and I will catch you guys next week. Happy investing.